Good morning, folks. Ari here from Direct Auto Outlet in Fair Oaks, California. I've got this gorgeous 2001 CLK430 Cabriolet for you today. That would make this an A208 as opposed to a C208, which would have been the hardtop version of this vehicle. This Cabriolet has only 36,000 original miles. Now, folks, make sure you catch our in-depth walk-around video where we demonstrate its many functions and features and go through the ins and outs of the vehicle. But without further ado, this will be our test drive and driving impression video of this vehicle as we get in it, put it through its paces, take you along with us for the ride so that you can see and hear everything that we see and hear. So please join us now. $36,459 miles. This little LCD right over here, I believe that would have had the exterior temperature. So that particular LCD screen, the pixels need repair on it. That is something that can be done. The cluster would have to be sent out for repair. Last time we did one of those, I believe it was about 200 bucks. And this 430, it just incorporates all of the best as far as styling goes, comfort goes, luxury goes. Also, just the power to weight ratio in this vehicle is absolutely unbelievable. This vehicle is very comfortable to drive, very smooth, very luxurious, and then it has power to back it up. A lot of power in this model. It's really the way to go. The 320 model is sufficient amount of power. When you drive that one, you don't feel like you're lacking any power or you're missing out on anything, except for when you drive this one, you realize what you were missing out on, and it just makes all the difference. Folks, if you really want to buy a 320 and not a 430, just please do yourself a favor and never drive a 430, because if you experience the 430, you will never be okay with just a 320. This particular one, with only 36,000 miles on it, is in beautiful condition. Lots of maintenance. The vehicle has been properly cared for and taken care of. It is extremely smooth. These are long-lasting, reliable engines and powertrains. These things I've seen with well over 200,000 miles on them, and they've just barely broken a sweat. One of the last really solid over-engineered Mercedes Benz, where it was over-engineered as far as the quality is concerned, but not over-engineered as far as technology is concerned. This is still a very basic vehicle that has a cassette player in it and a CD changer in the trunk. It's still old school in just about every way you can imagine. And when referring to a Mercedes, old school is actually good, because the new school of Mercedes thought is of the bean counters, where the engineers lost their free reign on decision-making privileges that allowed them to make some of the best vehicles on earth. Now we're just trying to cater to what's sparkly and shiny in front of our eyes, and we pay very little attention to the longevity and quality of a vehicle these days. That's clear across the board with just about every car manufacturer, not just Mercedes Benz, but that's a shame. That's why some of the best vehicles on earth came out of this era. This next stretch of road that we're going to be making a right turn on has a lot of uneven surfaces, rough roads, potholes, and we bring vehicles on this section of road because we want to feel how the suspension performs and behaves. If there is excessive looseness or play in the front suspension, whether it be the upper or lower control arms, sway bar links, tie rod ends, we'll typically feel it during this section of road. This section of constantly under construction road, where your hard-earned California tax dollars are working for you, or they should be working for you at least. They don't seem to ever work for you for some reason. In any case, that is a topic for another video. The front suspension and rear suspension feel nice and tight, no play, no rattles, no clunks, no squeaks, no rattles inside the vehicle also. Very smooth. Transmission shifts just about as smooth as butter. Vehicle acceleration is very linear, since it is just a larger displacement, naturally aspirated engine. That's why I love it so much. Rear wheel drive, naturally aspirated, big motor. That is something that we're not going to see too much more of. And I think we've made just about as many of them in this configuration that we're ever going to make. Folks, at this section of road, we'll be doing a 0 to 60 acceleration pull, where I'll stop at a complete stop and accelerate to 60 in 3, 2, 1, and go. About 50% throttle here, 60%, 70% throttle, about 80% throttle, and Wow, it is pin you to your seat, power and acceleration. And as we stomp on our brakes, slowing down to a safe speed, you don't feel any shimmying on the pedal, no shaking on the chassis of the vehicle, no shaking on the steering wheel, and nothing that would indicate any warpage of the brakes or rotors whatsoever. This vehicle is so quiet for being a convertible. I think if you were to bring a decibel meter in here, this vehicle would not be any more noisy than a typical hardtop coupe. I don't know how Mercedes did it, but they're giving you pretty much the best of both worlds. You're also getting a solid rear glass window with a defroster built in, so no more yellowing rear windows with no defrosters that get fogged up. You can defrost this one, see out it clearly, and it will never yellow on you. It's a vehicle where, you know, you're just as smooth and comfortable as a hardtop coupe, except you have the additional added benefit of having a convertible, which I am starting to really appreciate as I get a little bit older. So much fun, so much car for the money, folks. This vehicle is an absolute no-brainer. If you can afford it, I think you should definitely consider it. It is a fabulous vehicle, and you know, the reason I say if you can afford it is because, again, this, you know, we have to admit it, this is a luxury item. It is not, nobody needs one of these vehicles. As a matter of fact, it would be best suited as a second or third vehicle, because, you know, you don't have the larger rear seat space, you don't have the cargo space, it's not overly practical whatsoever. It's not going to be many of your only vehicles, you know, but it would make an excellent weekend vehicle, a fun car to drive on the weekends, take on vacation, drive when you're able to drive it, and it is a lot of fun and a lot of car for the money, a lot of style, and it just makes me feel like $1 million when I drive it. I think it'll do the same for you. Folks, if you've enjoyed this video, please do smash that like button. Make sure you also subscribe and then hit the bell notification icon so you can be notified of all of our future videos. And for those of you watching us from out of state or out of town, we do also have affordable nationwide shipping and transport services available as well. So just inquire within our office, drop us a note, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'll get you a quote on what it would take to get this vehicle from our doorstep to yours. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns that weren't covered in this video or the advertisement for the vehicle, you may just decide to give me a call and get me directly by dialing area code 916-765-7575. Also find us on our website 24/7, 365 days a year at www.directautooutlet.com. As we get closer to the lot and we're about to pull in, folks, I will take this opportunity to thank you for joining us and investing your valuable time, sticking out with us throughout the entirety of this video. We certainly do appreciate that. I hope to have the privilege and be fortunate enough to see and interact with each and every one of you in the near future. As we pull in, we're going to go ahead and back on into a slot and go ahead and wrap it up. Folks, thanks again for joining us. Greatly appreciate it. Give me a call. I'd be happy to share all of my insights with you about this vehicle or any other. Folks, that's all she wrote. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. Bye-bye.